Do you recognize the feeling when your phone battery dies seconds before an important call and the bus leaves right in front of you? Disappointment is like an annoying relative who has overstayed their welcome, emptied your refrigerator, and decided to stay forever. But what if I told you there's a way to not just endure, but turn disappointments to your advantage? The 7 Stoic practices are your tool for indestructibility. But let's get rid of this nuisance once and for all. Today we're going to look at 7 unbreakable Stoic practices that will help you not only deal with frustration, but get rid of it for good. If you're new here, I have a little assignment for you. Hit the subscribe button and notification bell to improve your mental toughness and become a rock in this chaotic ocean. Now let's delve into the concept of the circle of control, a fundamental Stoic principle that can dramatically change the way you deal with life's challenges. Imagine a typical scenario. You're stuck in traffic, your phone battery is running low before a crucial call, and dark clouds threaten to ruin your picnic plans. At this point, you may be feeling completely frazzled. But let's deal with this. Stoics would remind us that we have limited control over external events such as traffic, weather, or even technology. However, we have tremendous power over our inner realm, our reactions, emotions, and thinking. It's not about magical solutions to life's problems, but a mental shift, a change in perspective. Consider the case when you miss the bus. You can't control the flow of traffic, but you can let frustration take over by clenching your fists and losing your temper. Or you can take the opportunity to use the extra minutes wisely. Take a deep breath and do a short meditation. Listen to a podcast you've been wanting to listen to, or just enjoy the beauty of the sky. Life isn't an endless list of tasks. It's a series of moments, and the quality of your experience depends on how you relate to those moments. The next time you find yourself in a whirlwind of irritation because something didn't go the way you wanted it to, pause and ask the important question: is this within my control? If the answer is no, take a deep breath and let go. Consciously choose those battles that need to be fought and refuse those that only drain your energy. Imagine a world where road rage, tantrums in line at the grocery store, and keyboard warriors losing their temper over a single comment would be reduced. Such a world isn't just worth striving for. It's a world in which the quality of our collective existence would be vastly improved. Let's take a journey into the depths of Stoic practice, zooming out for a broader perspective. This practice can have a significant impact on how we perceive and deal with life's challenges. Imagine facing a series of seemingly insurmountable challenges. Your phone battery runs out just before a fateful call, and you watch the bus you were about to board drive away in a cloud of exhaust fumes and indifference. The frustration at times like this can be overwhelming. But let's break down the scenario and see how the Stoics might guide us. The modern world often seems all-consuming, constantly bombarding us with messages that equate our worth with productivity, efficiency, and the ability to manage every aspect of our lives. The result is a grueling race to be better and do more, a relentless checklist that seems endless. The Stoics, on the other hand, through their wisdom, encourage us to pause and zoom out to see a perspective beyond the immediate and pressing concerns. It's like a camera in a movie that shows us the big picture of what's going on. When you zoom out, your problems seem smaller and more manageable. It's like realizing that the mountain you're struggling to climb is just a modest hill. This shift in perspective is not a downplaying of your problems, but an understanding of their relative importance in the larger context of life. Why does this practice work? Because it helps simplify and clarify your understanding of life. When you focus on problems, they tend to seem larger and more overwhelming than they really are. Zooming out allows you to see the bigger picture and realize the true magnitude of problems. Moreover, this practice increases your gratitude for what you have. When you are healthy, have a roof over your head, and are surrounded by people who care about you, these simple goods become much more valuable. They shine brightly against the backdrop of a world in which even giant megacities seem like dots on a globe. So the next time life makes a mess of your plans, consider zooming out for a moment. You may find that the obstacle you're facing isn't as imposing as it first seemed. This new perspective can relieve you of the feeling of paralysis caused by problems and show you that they are manageable and surmountable. The Stoic principle of harnessing the power of now invites us to immerse ourselves in the art of living in the present moment. In our modern world, where we are constantly running, trying to outrun time, striving for success, and pursuing multiple goals, the practice of being present often eludes us. Notifications flood our devices, news feeds vie for our attention, and worries about tomorrow often overshadow the joys of today. But the Stoics offer a valuable reminder. Imagine you're caught in a relentless whirlwind of life's demands, from work and family obligations to social commitments and personal goals. The constant buzz of incoming messages and the incessant distractions of the digital age keep you constantly on edge. In this chaos, it's hard to find a sense of peace and fulfillment. The Stoic approach is simple yet transformative. You need to remove yourself from the outside noise, turn off non-urgent notifications, set aside time to do nothing, and immerse yourself in the present moment. This means being fully present in every action. When you eat, you don't just ingest food, but savor its flavor and texture. When you listen, you don't just hear sounds, but truly engage with the music. When you walk, you feel the texture of the ground beneath your feet and the temperature of the air. In essence, being present involves experiencing life in all its depth, rather than skimming the surface. Instead of constantly thinking about past regrets or future anxieties, your attention narrows to the present moment. This simplification of perspective brings clarity and a sense of peace. Frustration often arises from the tug-of-war between the past and the future, neither of which is a secure foothold. The power of now is a remedy for frustration because it redirects your attention to what you can do right now. You regain control of your mental landscape, simplifying your understanding of the world and allowing yourself to move through it with grace. Embracing the power of the present moment in your daily life isn't about giving up planning or neglecting the lessons of the past. It is about not letting the past or the future take over your present. The idea is to live consciously, appreciating every moment. By emphasizing the present, you'll find that many of your frustrations simply dissolve into thin air, unable to gain a foothold in a mind firmly rooted in the here and now. Auditing and managing your desires is an important practice of self-discovery. By studying it, we can gain a deeper understanding of how we perceive the world and how we deal with frustration. Desire, in its various forms, is often a close companion to frustration. The desire for something tangible or intangible can provide fertile ground for frustration to flourish. The Stoics, keen observers of human nature, divided desires into two categories: natural and vain. Natural desires have to do with vital necessities such as food, shelter, and well-being. The fulfillment of these desires promotes general health and contentment. On the other hand, vain desires are excessive or extravagant pursuits, such as power, fame, or material possessions. They often lead to dissatisfaction and frustration. It is important to realize that the Stoics are not advocating the abandonment of all desires. That would be impractical and even harmful. Instead, they urge us to scrutinize our desires and weigh them on the scales of their true importance. To put this into practice, think about the desires that arise within you. Before you let disappointment take over when a desire is not realized, pause and evaluate. Does the fulfillment of this desire really contribute to your well-being and personal growth? Does it align with your true values and goals? By conducting such an internal audit, you may discover that some of your desires are driven more by a desire for short-term gratification than long-term personal growth or genuine well-being. Recognizing these futile desires will allow you to re-examine your goals and aspirations and streamline your life path. Imagine that your life's goals and desires are a ship sailing on the stormy sea of existence. By shedding the ballast of vain desires, your ship will become more maneuverable and better equipped to weather life's storms. With a clearer sense of direction and purpose, your tasks become less cluttered. So take a moment to revise your desires. Look deep into your inner self and ask, do these desires serve a higher purpose or simply feed an insatiable appetite for more? Once you clear your desires, you will find that moving through life will become easier, more directed and satisfying. You will be guided by your true values rather than the fickle winds of vain desires. Let's dive into the intriguing world of negative visualization, a Stoic practice that may seem counterintuitive at first, but can strengthen your emotional resilience and deepen your appreciation for the good things in life. Imagine You wake up one morning, sip your coffee, and for a few moments imagine your day going wrong. Your coffee spills, your computer crashes, you're late for your train, and your day's schedule falls apart before it begins. It may seem like this practice attracts unnecessary negativity into your life, but let's understand its underlying wisdom. Negative visualization is not about dwelling on the worst. It's about mentally preparing yourself for possible setbacks that may come your way. By recognizing these possible problems, you not only reduce the shock and disappointment they may bring, but you also gain a unique perspective on the value of what you possess. By performing this mental exercise, you prepare your mind to face adversity with grace and resilience. When life inevitably throws you a curveball, you adapt to it with ease, as if you've already been through the experience in your imagination. What's more, negative visualization reinforces your gratitude that things are going well. When you consciously recognize the possibility of failure, you begin to appreciate the small victories in life more. For example, spilled coffee is no longer a source of frustration but a reminder of the countless days when it didn't spill. A reliable computer is no longer taken for granted but celebrated for the countless times when it didn't break down. A late train ride can be an opportunity to show patience and adaptability rather than an occasion for anger. This practice will help you live with greater willingness and gratitude. It's not about expecting the worst, but being prepared for it and embracing the valuable lessons it can bring. When you meet life's blows with grace, you become an experienced player in this game, rather than a novice who panics at the first sign of trouble. Now let's venture into the realm of amor fati, a powerful Stoic principle that teaches you to love your destiny. There are times in everyone's life when one encounters unexpected difficulties. Loss of a job, the breakup of a relationship, and the first reaction is, of course, disappointment, frustration, or anger. However, the Stoics offer a different perspective. Amor fati means to love one's fate. It is more than just accepting what happens to you, it is actively accepting what happens, whether or not it coincides with your original plans. This practice is about seeing any twists and turns in life as opportunities for growth and change. When setbacks occur, instead of indulging in self-pity, see it as the universe's way of redirecting you to something better, even if you can't see it at the moment. This practice is about turning what others may perceive as bad into a new shade of good. This doesn't mean you shouldn't experience natural human emotions like sadness or frustration. These are natural reactions to difficult situations. The Stoic approach is to feel them, acknowledge them, and then ask yourself, how can this experience enrich my life? By adopting this change of mindset, you free yourself from the burden of resentment and blame. When you stop seeing setbacks as uninvited guests at the celebration of life, your perspective changes. Difficulties become stepping stones in your path rather than roadblocks. This approach frees you from the debilitating question, why me? Instead, your default attitude becomes, try me. You become resilient and learn to dance in the rain. Life is full of surprises, irritations, and frustrations. But when you practice amor fati, these problems suddenly seem insignificant in the grand scheme of life's impermanence. Instead of wasting precious minutes agonizing over a rude remark or a minor setback, you will be able to see the other side. By recognizing the impermanence of life, you add a sense of urgency to your practice. This encourages you to act, change, grow, and problem solve not tomorrow, but today. Your days become more meaningful, your actions more thoughtful, and your time more valuable. Amor fati is an absolute reality check that forces you to stay in the present and live life to the fullest. When you fully embrace your destiny, you don't just reduce suffering and frustration, you change the very fabric of your existence. Your path becomes a tapestry of experiences, each one contributing to personal growth, wisdom, and the ability to find joy in life's unpredictable twists and turns. As we conclude our conversation, we encounter the profound concept of memento mori, which translates to remember your mortality. This powerful practice serves as a stark reality check, encouraging us to face the transitory nature of life and thus forcing us to focus on what is truly important. Imagine for a moment that you are confronted with an undeniable truth. Time is inexorable, and none of us know when our time will end. It's a sobering thought, but it's exactly the kind of reflection that the Stoics urge us to embrace. Memento mori is not a morbid fixation on death or a call to dwell on our mortality to the point of despair. Rather, it is a reminder that life is precious and fleeting, and it should encourage us to live in the present. In our relentless pursuit of worldly goals and in the midst of daily disappointments, it is all too easy to forget the impermanence of life. We often get lost in the noise of our own desires, anxieties, and petty grievances. But when we remember our mortality, these trifling concerns begin to pale in comparison to the grand scale of existence. This practice invites us to cut away the minutiae of life to realize what is truly important and what is just noise. Frustration often arises from our attachment to things that are insignificant in the grand scheme of existence. It is not the external situation but our perception of it that causes stress and frustration. When we realize the fragility of our existence, it becomes easier to separate what is truly important from the cacophony of life's distractions. In addition, realizing your mortality gives your actions a sense of urgency. It encourages you to live life to the fullest and to cherish your time as a precious resource. When you embrace the prospect of a limited time on this earth, your days become more meaningful, your actions more thoughtful, and your time more valuable. This practice is a key reminder that our journey is finite. It is a ticking clock that pushes us to act, to change, to grow, and to solve issues today, not tomorrow. Disappointment becomes much less of a burden when viewed in the context of the overall impermanence of your life. Incorporating Stoic practices into your daily routine will help you deal with disappointment and kick it out the door. If these thoughts are close to your heart, don't keep them to yourself. Join our community. Subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and leave a comment to tell us what practices resonate with you or what you've discovered along the way. And we're going to continue onward and talk about stop being miserable. Change your life for the better. What makes a person happy? Family, beloved people, money, or just peace of mind? The ancient Stoics, such as Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, had their own definition of true happiness. They saw it differently from the way the media portrays it today and the way most people understand it. This begs the question, how does one actually become happy? How did the Stoics achieve true happiness? Today, we are going to share with you time-tested Stoic principles that will help you become happier. These principles are so powerful, so practical, that even if you choose to apply just 2 of them, they will change your life forever. So get ready and pay attention, because this is going to be a life-changing experience. Let's begin our journey. Stop doubting yourself. Start believing. Doubt is our greatest enemy. It nests in our minds like an unwelcome guest. But here's the catch. It's not about eradicating doubt completely, it's about managing it. The Stoics were not immune to self-doubt, but they knew how to harness it. Take Marcus Aurelius, for example, a man who ran a huge empire but was constantly faced with doubt. His approach was not to ignore them, but to challenge them. He asked, "Is this thought useful? Does it improve my life or hinder it?" Hint for us, when Marcus Aurelius said that our life is what our thoughts make it. Those words were not just poetic, they are a practical mantra. Imagine you are about to start a new project or take up a new hobby. Doubts are right there. They whisper that you won't succeed. That's where you change the script. Acknowledge the doubts and then counter them with confidence. True confidence is not the absence of doubt, but your ability to believe in yourself despite it. Ever wondered about the meaning of life? Sounds like a hackneyed question, doesn't it? But let's be honest. Reflecting on your life isn't about climbing a mountain and meditating. It's about taking a moment, perhaps while sipping your morning coffee, and asking yourself some serious questions. You might ask yourself, what makes me get out of bed every morning? Why do I behave the way I do? Am I happy with the way my life is turning out? Now imagine your life as a movie. Would you watch it, or would you doze off before the end of the opening credits? Reflection is not about being hard on yourself. It's about being honest with yourself. If your daily routine was a YouTube video, would you hit the like button or scroll past it? Remember, you are the director of this show, and it's in your hands to make it worth watching. Now let's talk about dreams. Not those weird dreams where you come to work in your pajamas, but your real dreams. Are they still sitting on the shelf collecting dust? It's time to dust them off. Break them down into steps as simple as the items on your morning to-do list. Think about it. If you remember to charge your phone every night, you can definitely take small steps towards your dreams. The story of your life belongs to you, so make it one that you would love to tell. The unpredictability of life sometimes feels like something overwhelming. The waves of circumstance seem to be raging and we have no power to control them. But there's a secret to staying calm in the midst of the storm. Focus on what you can control. Imagine that life is a video game. You can't control the design of the levels or the behavior of other players, but you can control your actions. Likewise in life, focus on your actions, thoughts, and attitude. These are your joystick and buttons. Use them wisely. Seneca, the famous Stoic philosopher, once found himself in exile. Most people would perceive exile as a disaster, as a loss of control over their destiny. But not Seneca. He turned inward on himself, focusing on his letters and his meditations. Instead of expending energy on trying to change his circumstances, Seneca put all his energies into self-improvement and focused on what he could control. And his writings from this period are the best evidence that energy should be directed where it matters most. This lesson is as relevant today as it was in ancient Rome. Some things are within our control and some things are not. This phrase, often attributed to Epictetus, encapsulates the essence of Stoicism. Epictetus himself, being a slave, knew that not everything in life was within his control. So he focused on his inner life, his thoughts, reactions, and attitudes. By adopting this philosophy, we too can become not only happier, but also more content and resilient, like Seneca and Epictetus. In the midst of life's chaos, it's important to remember, it's not about controlling the storm, it's about learning to dance in the rain. There is a famous saying, "What you give, you get." And it really is true. Imagine throwing a pebble into a lake. The resulting ripples spread far and wide, reaching places where the pebble could never reach. Such is the power of kindness toward others. Every small act of kindness, whether it's holding a door for someone or sharing a smile, creates a ripple of positive energy that spreads out into the world around us. It's not about grand gestures, it's about the everyday kindness that really matters. By making another person's day a little brighter, we unwittingly brighten our own as well. And here's the catch. The good you do often comes back to you, but not always and not necessarily in the way you expect it to. It's like throwing a boomerang of kindness. It's bound to come back, but sometimes in the form of a grateful smile and sometimes in the form of a helping hand when you least expect it. It's not about keeping score of good deeds, but rather that by our actions we contribute to a kinder and more compassionate world. Seneca didn't just preach kindness, he practiced it in his own life, generously sharing advice and helping others without expecting anything in return. His life teaches us that true happiness comes not from what we acquire, but from what we give. Have you ever tried juggling? Start with too many balls and they all end up on the floor. It's roughly the same in life. Trying to do everything often results in you accomplishing little. The key to success is to do less, but do it better. It's not about the quantity of tasks, it's about the quality of your involvement. Pick a few things that are really important to you and dedicate all your time to them. This focused approach will not only improve your skills, but also bring a deeper sense of fulfillment. Simplifying your life isn't about having less, it's about having more of what matters. Reduce your to-do list to the essentials. Like a sculptor cuts away the unnecessary to reveal a beautiful statue. Get rid of anything unnecessary to reveal your true priorities. Clarity leads to action, and action leads to happiness. By focusing on fewer things, you can direct your energy more effectively, making every effort meaningful. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Concentrate, as a Roman, on accomplishing every minute of what is before you with exact and sincere earnestness, energy, readiness, and justice." He was not only the ruler of an empire, but the ruler of his time and attention. He prioritized, deliberated, and acted with purpose. In our pursuit of happiness, let us remember his wisdom. By focusing on doing less but better, we will discover a world of excellence and contentment. Let us narrow our focus to expand our impact. Let's talk about gratitude for a moment. It's like finding money in an old jacket. It was always there, but once you find it, your day gets a little brighter. That's what gratitude does to life. It's the ability to appreciate the little things. A warm cup of coffee, a text from a friend, a beautiful sunset. When you start to notice these moments and give thanks for them, life suddenly becomes richer and fuller. It's not about having, it's about appreciating. And you can turn that into a useful habit. For example, keep a gratitude journal. Every night, write down in it what you were grateful for that day. It could be anything. Enjoying a quiet moment or accomplishing a personal goal. This simple practice shifts your focus from what you lack to what you already have. And trust me, the more you look for reasons to be grateful, the more you'll find them. Epictetus once remarked, "Rich is not he who has much, but he who needs little." He found wealth in his simple life by focusing on what he had rather than what he lacked. His message for us: let's practice gratitude. Recognize and embrace all the good that is in your life. This may seem trivial, but it's important to remember. It's not unhappiness that brings gratitude. It's gratitude that brings happiness. Seeking external approval is like chasing a shadow that always eludes us. Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that is surprisingly still relevant today, teaches us a powerful lesson in this matter. We are so organized that we care what others think of us. But here's the rub. Stoicism pushes us to flip that script. It's about looking for validation of our significance within ourselves, not outside. Imagine that your self-esteem is a fortress. Why let someone else hold the keys to it? Now let's get down to the practical questions. How do you actually stop this mission of seeking approval? Start by recognizing your own accomplishments, no matter how small. Did you make your bed this morning? That's already a victory. Take time to appreciate these tiny victories. It's like strengthening your mental muscles, where you are a coach and a cheerleader in one person. And when you feel the urge to seek out compliments or likes on social media, pause. Ask yourself, am I doing this for myself or for someone else? Here's a little tip. Every day, try to do something that makes you proud. Not for applause, but for your own sense of accomplishment. It's about rewiring our brains to seek inner approval. When you stop depending on external evaluations, so much room is freed up in your life for your own growth. It's not about becoming indifferent to others. It's about being true to yourself. This shift in thinking is not just liberating, it is empowering. Imagine you are climbing a mountain. It's steep, it's challenging, and at times you wonder, why did I even sign up for this? But here's the thing. Every step up, every obstacle you overcome, makes the summit closer and more desirable. Stoic philosophy, as old as the hills but as fresh as tomorrow's dawn, tells us that true satisfaction in life comes from overcoming challenges, not avoiding them. So in 2024, let's turn our daily routine into climbing our personal Everest. You may be thinking this is easier said than done. That's right, this is not an overnight transformation. It's about gradual but sustainable change. Start by setting a goal that will push your boundaries, but still be achievable. Could be learning a new skill, improving your fitness, or even just reading one book a month. The important thing is not the goal itself, but the growth that happens when you achieve it. Every small victory is a step up towards a happier future. Laugh more, and this isn't just fun advice. It's one of the cornerstones of a happy and satisfied life, echoing the wisdom of the ancient Stoics. Take Chrysippus, for example, who believed that laughter is a serious matter. And he was right. Laughter is a tool that lightens our burdens and allows us to look at problems from a different, brighter perspective. Imagine for a moment the absurdity of life's little annoyances seen through the lens of humor. Did your coffee spill? Instead of getting upset, smile at the quirks of the universe. This is Stoicism in action, reminding us that not everything in life deserves a frown. So how do we fit more laughter into the puzzle of our crazy modern lives? It's easier than you might think. Start by looking for the bright side in everyday situations. Traffic jam? It's a good time to turn on your favorite comedy podcast. Meeting up with friends? Share stories about who had the most ridiculous encounter of the week. It's not about ignoring the complexities of life. It's about choosing a more joyful perspective. This is practical Stoicism. Control what you can, your outlook and reactions, and let go of what you can't influence. Laughter is the universal melody of happiness. Share it. Be the person who makes others smile, and your laughter will become a ripple that will touch people's lives in ways you may not have imagined. This is what Stoicism is all about. Finding harmony within and spreading it outward. It's not just a philosophy, it's wisdom passed down from age to age. Love your destiny. Sounds like a daunting task, right? And yet this is where the ancient wisdom of Stoicism intersects with our fast-paced, technological world. Stoicism isn't about suppressing emotions or enduring pain. It's about accepting everything life throws at you with a positive attitude. Think of it like surfing. Waves of circumstance will come big and small, but it's your ability to ride them that matters, not the size of the wave. Start by changing your mindset. When something doesn't go your way, see it as an opportunity for growth. Missed your transportation? This is a chance to take a brisk walk and get some fresh air. Electric power disappeared? An excuse to give yourself a digital detox and enjoy offline life. It's important to learn to find the upside in every cloud. This approach is not just about capitalizing on a bad situation, it's about turning difficulties into stepping stones to something greater. Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher and Roman emperor, wisely observed, "What stands in the way becomes the road." This means that the obstacles you encounter can pave your way to success. So the next time something doesn't go according to plan, instead of getting frustrated, take a moment to appreciate the benefits of the situation. In essence, loving your destiny means embracing life's unpredictability with agility and finesse. It's a choice to dance in the rain rather than wait for the storm to pass. Always remember, life doesn't just happen to you, it happens for you. Every twist of fate is an invitation to become stronger, wiser, and happier. So ride the waves with a smile and watch your world change for the better. As we conclude our journey through the principles of Stoicism, remember, the power to make you happy is within you. As the ancient Stoics taught, focus on what is within your control, let go of what is beyond your control, and embrace the present moment. Life is full of unexpected twists and turns, but with a Stoic mindset you will be able to overcome them calmly and wisely. If our conversations have been helpful to you, please give us a like, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to press the bell to stay up to date with new videos. Every step towards understanding Stoicism is a step towards a more peaceful and fulfilling life. Thank you for watching.